I'm gonna swing back around. And you can drop your work over. Alright, so we'll start here. Introduce yourself. If you have a business that you want to promote, let it go.
Sure. I'm Ann. No business to promote, just here.
I love that this year. I love it.
Hey, I'm Dominique. Just here as well.
Love it.
Joe Ellis, photo, all platforms.
Love it.
All platforms, huh?
Thing to say.
Faith Wilkerson. I'm just here representing Faith Wilkerson.
Love it.
Yes.
I do,
but
y'all know me already.
I can tell already.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We out here.
Alright, thank you all for being here. So, the main video will be available on my website later.
What you said?
I don't know how to word it. It came up with a thing I didn't understand. So the main
No, you
video
know, I
will
took because
be-
I'm sipping real fast. Joe, don't let us what you call it? You don't let us bully you now.
So
You feel
we are
you feel
going
safe.
to start with questions that were submitted to Zola, and then the questions that were submitted on my website from the everyday people, the real life people. All right, so. Thank you.
We gotta get you a stand, a tripod, girl.
I was struggling. All
Can
right.
you, Buster, can you lean, what is that? Can you lean it against that white thing, or did I make it too close?
You can be back early.
And because it's his phone, I didn't want it to drop and then me be responsible. So the first question.
You went to college? Did you go to college?
Virginia Union University.
Talk about it, King. Yes. That's what you learned. That's what you learned at the U.
So these are the books that it's based on, just in case you all needed a. All right, so the first question was, Dear Zola, let me start at the beginning. I've been dating a man named Ray for 8 months. The relationship is pretty lackluster. We don't do anything. If we go on a date, it's to the movies, but usually our date nights consist of him coming over to my place, me cooking, and him picking a movie for us to watch on my streaming service. He claims we don't do anything because he's tired from work or he's too busy from work. But he never has any money. He is the father of an amazing little 3-year-old girl, and he sees her regularly and spoils her rotten. I love that he's a good dad, and I tell him that all the time. He sees his daughter regularly, which means he sees his daughter's mother regularly. I've suspected he has been cheating on me with her. There's no evidence, it's a gut feeling. So I asked him about it, and he flipped out. He said he hasn't been with his ex since they conceived their little one. In my opinion, he got irrationally angry, and during our argument, he made the point to tell me that I needed to stop being jealous of his daughter and his daughter's mother. He later apologized, but told me that I needed to accept that she was always going to be in his life because that's his daughter's mother. Zola, am I tripping? So,
Oh boy.
who would like to take this question first?
Can I start?
Yes.
Did she say they were dating?
Yeah, I missed
Because that's not dating. They've only mentioned, did they go to the movies or they just watch Netflix?
They just watched on her account. First of all, the fact that she wrote that paragraph, you already in danger, sis. Like, you had to write an entire paragraph. So that's that. He had to argue, because that's MO.
She said he never has any money.
Never has any money.
And he's an amazing dad.
He's an amazing dad.
He never has any
He
money.
never has any money for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get out. I'm about to say get out. Can we just, I think that's the answer. Yeah. Get
Hold
out.
up. She said 8 months, right?
8 months. They've been together for 8 months.
Hopefully he won't turn that switch on, right?
No.
If it ain't turned on by now, it's not going to be.
That's what they say. They say that, you know, people give you their best in the beginning, so.
Yo, that's his best.
It's gonna get better.
And I've met that man. I might have dated that man last month. Like, just to be honest, like, so it's not gonna work, sis. Like, it's not gonna work.
Do they live together?
He might as well. I bet you he got a drawer. I bet he got a drawer.
I bet he got a Nike bag over there.
He does.
And a dog.
Dog.
So I think our advice is get out.
Yeah.
Before you
I
get-
second that.
Change your Netflix password.
Yes, that too.
So I ain't gonna watch you no movies.
Yeah, that's it. And don't share our favorite to-go places from DoorDash people.
Alright, so that was a question that was sent to Zola and Zola answered it. So to see what Zola said, you need to read the book.
Okay.
Now, our first question from the general public. Why do men act like they don't like a woman even though they really do?
Well, I would say sometimes it's a fear of rejection. That's the starting point. And so sometimes that man may not have a lot of life experience where he's dealt with rejection and he knows how to navigate that conversation. So a lot of times he may walk into it. You might be thinking about an amateurish man, meaning when I talk about that lack of experience. So he's going into this, when she rejects me, then my self-worth is going to go down. He's having this whole fear cycle in his head. And so he doesn't have the courage to talk to her simply.
Oh, I like you. That was a good
That was a good
answer.
answer.
Can I piggyback off that? Definitely agree with the fear of rejection. Also with like previous experiences. Like the last time he may have showed all this interest in the girl, she called him thirsty. And now he don't want to see thirsty.
What are the
again.
parameters of your shot shooting though? Because that could.
He might not be Steph Curry.
Okay.
Well, you know, you go down this road though, if you think about it. If you think about the guy that says that the last woman may have shot him down, he's already thinking of women as one type of person. He's not saying they're separate individuals. So when you think about it from that standpoint, he's already going back to the amateurish mindset, like all women are the same, all men are the same, right? So when you think about it, he's not taking her as an individual. And if you take her as an individual, let me see what she likes, let me observe her. If you think about it, and then from there, start the conversation from there. That way you don't even have to approach it from a rejection standpoint. I'm just trying to make a friend. Hey, how you doing? I saw that just X, Y, Z, whatever. But that's a game.
I like it.
Are you a relationship coach in real life?
He's more seasoned.
Okay.
But I have a follow-up. So that question, the girl knew the guy liked her. Is that? So then, how do we, as women, then, if we know that y'all know that we know, how do we make it easier for y'all so you don't feel like rejected, like you know that you won't get rejected?
You wouldn't pick that guy in the first place, though, because if you have to, well, not you. I'm saying, but the idea is he's waiting for you. If you think about it, that's the beginning of a type of the relationship power dynamic. Now he's going to sit back and wait for you to initiate from then on. So when it comes for sex, he's gonna wait for you to initiate. He's gonna constantly, you wanna go on a trip, he's gonna wait for you to initiate. You don't want that kind of guy if that's not the kind of relationship dynamic you want. He's gonna be looking for you to be the power player, but then he wants all the credit. Those men, you go out into a relationship, he's like, I'm the king of the house. I don't do nothing, I don't have no money, but I'm the king of the house. What was your contribution? So if you want a hunter, he's gonna hunt you down, he's gonna say, hey, what's going on? Versus if you got a farmer, hey babe, I planted that seed, I like you. You go ahead and
Just cut us out of this. Farmer?
Swamps are in the middle.
Just to follow up on what he's saying, then I think as women, then we need to understand the type of man that we are interested in. Do you want a farmer or do you want a hunter? And so you know when a farmer approaches you that ain't your style, so don't even bother to entertain. We only want those that are hunters.
But what if you want both? Like, I need someone to go
For
get the meat.
options.
Yeah, get the meat and then play the collard greens that we're going to have on the side.
But based on your personality, Faith, can you deal with the farmer?
Yes.
Lies.
Wow.
Lies.
Wow, we're judging each other. Okay.
That is an email we are not judging.
Right, yes. It was the last thing that respect me.
Nah, but I think what you just said is like really sage advice for people. If this is something you're not interested in, don't even entertain it at all. And I feel like that's why a lot of people get caught in situations where they're not happy for a long time because this is not what you wanted from the beginning. Right. And you just settle for this just to have something.
Yep.
Well, this is a dovetail of what he just said. There's a nuance that you didn't say. The idea is hunter. And if you look at it, some people can't even tell that they don't know what the cues are. So you could be physically attracted to somebody, and you're like, oh my God, I'm physically attracted to you. And then as a consequence of spending time together, I'll figure it out, right? So instead of what is the cue of fault? And so what we're pointing out is if the guy doesn't even have the courage to approach you, how is he going to approach any battle in life? So you got to look for those cues, right? Versus a fall from play.
Very nicely answered. Alright, this next question. My boyfriend works a lot, and I'm confused about how I feel about it. He's a provider, he has goals, and works hard to accomplish them. I catch myself stupidly upset that I can't have more of his time. I don't want his time 24/7. I have to talk myself down from having those thoughts that he's cheating. He's never given me a reason to think he is. So my question is, do we become so used to bad guys that good guys trigger us because it can't be real?
Yeah, I think she needs to go to therapy and work out whatever issues that she has going on with her. And I'm not trying to be funny. I think she needs to go figure out what causes her to act like that. So that way she can fix it. Because if he's not giving you a reason to suspect it, like, so why are you suspecting it? So
I think one of the worst things that you can do in a relationship is treat somebody like they are doing something wrong when there's no reason to believe that they are, you know? Just based on our...
Dobbins is tackled by Miles Jack and Joe Schober. Look, it's no surprise what Baltimore is going to try to do today and lead the NFL in rushing yards.
Come on, Sunday,
That's all I have to say about it.
Yards on the ground in Tennessee last week, including 215 to Derrick Henry.
And until the explosive plays, 16 runs of 20 yards or more that can really displace you as a defensive unit.
Todd Wash telling us they have to take good angles in the ground game, especially when it comes to Jackson. Here is Jackson. Jackson and Costin. Doug Marone went on and on with us about the play of Doug Costin, undrafted out of Miami of Ohio. Marone telling us really impressed me over the last several weeks.
Yes, which is why I'm saying now, because I...
So much so that he's now in the starting lineup for the 5th consecutive game. It brings up 3rd down and 2. Dobbins. And Dobbins gets to his 6th first down.
all right, there we go.
Thanks, Wobel. Alright. So, was it therapy? You said we're not going to accuse people of doing...
Yeah, I think one of the worst things you can do in a relationship is treat somebody like they're doing something wrong when they're not because of your own insecurities or fears or experiences. To your point, maybe you need to work that out in a safe place.
I don't know if she has maybe too much free time and she just needs something to do while he's doing his work. I don't know, maybe she needs to get a hobby or something.
She used to go on Pinterest.
She get a cricket. Yo, tell her to buy a cricket. It should be good.
Did you say go on Pinterest?
Yeah. She should go on Pinterest. Get her a hobby.
Pinterest, buy a cricket.
Voila,
Good.
magic.
Get off. How'd that go? Fam.
So many questions.
So, next question. What advice can you give a 40-plus divorcee that'll be new to dating in more than 20 years?
Okay, that would be
Or
my
new to the
question.
dating scene?
That's all you
That's
told
all
me.
me.
You
Will
got it.
not be looking for a relationship and patience is too short for BS. How to navigate this hot mess out here?
Do her. She needs to just do her. Like, it will come to you if that's what you want. I believe that you be so busy doing you that the right person will come along. But you don't settle. Like, you don't lower expectations. I find that some of the women that I encounter who are in that category, A, they don't recover from a divorce. So they are jumping from one relationship into a next, and so you're bringing that baggage with you from whatever situation you were in when you married into the next situation. You need some time to recover from that and truly understand what it is. Like, take a look in the mirror where do we need to fix some things so that when we go into the next situation, we're not bringing that stuff with us to the next situation. And yes, keep your expectations which you are. Be a little flexible, but don't lower the standard for anybody. And be open and just have fun in life. Like now you're at the point where you should be doing you after coming out of the situation, but be flexible. But don't jump. I think that's the biggest piece of advice, because we jump and we land right back into the same stuff that you just got out of if you don't fix it.
Well, the interesting thing, just to what you said, the interesting point is if you think about it, there's a layer that I kind of hit on this before. Oh, there's a layer that we're not hitting on that most people don't pay attention to. We're all in separate cultures. And when we think about the cultures we're in, we might be dating the person in the wrong culture. And so when we go out into the world, some people, like everybody in this room, we can all speak English, but that don't mean we have the same values. That means we have the same traditions. That doesn't mean so if you give me something valuable from you, that doesn't necessarily mean I understand it as valuable. So when we think about it, there's a lot of cultural undertones. Like a person from New York City, or hell, we're in Richmond. A person from Southside Richmond is not the same as a person from West End Richmond. It's a different culture, and it's a subtle one. And so when you start going out there and looking into the world and trying to pay attention to somebody, the first layer for dating, I would say, would be just to pay attention to, not even trying to date. I'm going back to, I'm attracted to you. Do we value the same things? Do you see the color red, or do you see the color blue? Do you think children should go to school, or should they be forced to go to school? Do you believe that your degree makes you better than other people? These are just key values, because they're going to populate. It's not just like politics and whatnot. It's are we from the same tribe? And then from there, that qualifies you to be somebody that can be interested. Otherwise, you're not qualified. I'm going to spend the relationship trying to teach you about my values. And you don't value me, and I'm going to feel emotionally invisible. And so that's a problem.
I think they got to figure out how to build that into all those dating apps. I don't know. Yeah. Are we from the same tribe? Right. I just want to let's just get that out of the way. Yeah.
Can't wait to drop. We're going to do emotionally invisible.
Right.
That was good. Can't wait to drop down and act like it's mine.
Anyone else have any responses? Make sure you project. All right, the next question. When is the right time to add choke and stroke into the relationship?
I'm sorry, how did we get there? How did we get there? Whoa!
They're all submitted.
What's the buffer? Like, I know, but what's the buffer? Like, how do we?
I want to make sure.
Before saying to,
Not like that is what you're saying. Right? Just bring it up right off the top of your head. I don't know. We need a definition.
I think the right time to bring it up is when you talk to your partner about it. You have this conversation up front and say, hey, like,
not when you're about to do it.
I think you need to talk to your partner about the things you like.
Do you stroke
to
and then
do.
choke?
And these are the things I like, so maybe we can incorporate this. You don't have to do it right away. We can do it. We can slowly incorporate it into it.
Like, we choke it out to the point I'm blacking out. Like, what's
Some
the
people
choke?
like to get choked to the point of blacking out.
What's the? I need another. I'm sorry. I need more context clues. I don't know. I can't say either way until I know how. You know how.
Like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, are we just caressing and just? I don't know. I can't answer.
It's not choking, it's choking caress.
Hold on. First of all, you can still kind of get a little. Okay, never mind.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about choking, the idea is it depends on what kind of relationship it is. Is this an entertainment relationship? Like when you think about it, some relationships are purely play, right? And then some relationships you want a long-term something, right? And if you want a long-term something, you should bring that up in a specific word. The reason why I say this is because if you think about kink, some people are very submissive, some people like slave and master play things of nature. However, the problem with those relationships with amateurs that are inside the kink world, the problem becomes that the person you're talking to may take it outside the bedroom. And so you need to have, it's almost like you can't just ease your way into, we have missionary sex. That's easy, right? Missionary sex is easy. But when we go into, hey, look, I'm gonna need a little bit of sexual caviar. This regular stuff doesn't really get the stress out that I need. So that choke and stroke that we're talking about, you gotta gotta have a conversation ahead of time, but you have to also create a balance where you're like, let's stay in the room. Don't disrespect me outside, things of this nature. But you can't bring it up too early because then some people get blinded by sex and that's the relationship with that's going on. So it's only after, I would recommend, it's only after they see your other value and then that becomes the cherry on top.
And I would say,
What would you say?
that you bring it up early in conversation because I don't want to be satisfied with you.
What's the scenario, Dom?
I want to go out and
That's
find
another
somebody else.
I need to understand how you're going to talk about that. Like, is it over beer? Is it over Netflix? Like, when do you say, hey? Like, do you rather be like, hey?
I just feel like if you effectively communicate with your partner, like on a regular basis, y'all talk about certain things. Like, you talk about stuff. So, like, if we talk about sex, and I know I like to do this during sex, it's going to be brought up. So I can know whether you like it or not. Because we don't want to waste our time. Like, we don't want to be stuck in something for years and not happy. You know?
I think as a general rule, if you're having sex, you should definitely be talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know that that's always been promoted. You know?
Well, I would add to that, to your point. If you bring it up and you know, it's almost like, this is my, I know like if we're driving on the highway, you have to know that you're a good driver. You have to watch out for everyone else. So the assumption would be that the person will steer and turn you into a sexual object. So if they turn you into a sexual object because you brought it up too early, casually, maybe you're comfortable talking about sex, and that's your way to break the ice. But they're going, oh wait a minute, you're a freaky dude. I'm gonna go ahead and let's stay on this topic because that's the easiest thing to talk about. Sex is always the easiest thing to talk about when you don't know anybody but you're attracted to. So what happens, the risk I'm bringing up is what happens if you can't bring it back to, oh wait a minute, I'm a whole person. I'm not just your toy on the shelf. So that's a concern. How do we alleviate that?
If you have this in your hand, how do you know you're with the right person?
So I'll start. How do I know if I'm with the right person? I feel completely comfortable and I can be myself. I don't have to have a mask on. I don't have to send a representation of me. I should be able to be completely transparent. And I think that that's huge because let me not say most, some people operate with a mask on, and it takes a lot for the person to really drop their guard and 100% become themselves. So I know if I'm with the right person, if I can 100% be myself, whether that's goofy today, in charge tomorrow, whatever it is, this person needs to roll with me, non-judgmental, supportive, like all the things. You got to check the stuff that's on my checklist. If you've met it, and I can be myself with you, then I know I'm the right person.
Oh, you want me to go next, Joy? Just still trying to train it. I would agree. I think that it has to do with being comfortable, being vulnerable, and safe. But and again, if you've met my wife, I know I'm with the right person. It's just, it's just that easy. Isn't that one of her rules? It's like when you know, you know. Yeah. So I guess I just knew. But yeah, I agree. I think that it's easy. When I didn't do a lot of dating in my life, but of the times I did, I was being very, very guarded. And so when you get comfortable with someone and you feel like you can be yourself, I think that's probably a good indication you're with the right person.
Just having that good feeling when you're around the person, even when you're not with the person as well. When you can talk about that person to someone else, to complete strangers. Also, like just being able to be yourself and know you're not being judged. And you're comfortable with that person too. So.
That was a good answer. See, it's good you got your card.
So we have one of these. Why do men tell you that you're everything they want, even use words such as soulmate, and say they love you, and then still fumble that?
Why don't I have that card?
Maybe we should have
So I would say the reason it's manipulation, right? It's being a player. It's the patriarchy. It's being a part of the game. We know that as a man, women have been conditioned to listen to beautiful words. And as that, if you understand the game, and I use those beautiful words against you. And I use those beautiful words because you don't internalize what they actually mean. So it's like when people say, I want to be swept off my feet. Most women have never thought of what that actually means. And so then I can say, I'm going to sweep you off your feet. And you're like, oh my God, that's what I've been looking for. Well, what does that actually mean? So she has an internalized. So when you have beautiful words, the way a player works, not that I'm a player, but the way a player works, the way that a player works is I weave a narrative, I weave a story, and that story is there to women to keep on guy on layaway too. Hey, look, I'm gonna promise
Don't
you
do
this.
that. We don't do things like that.
Well, I mean,
We would never. God, we are very forthcoming.
All right, we're back recording now. All right, so next,
Now get the part where he said women not.
should you marry someone if you both do not have the same political views?
Yes.
And that's for everyone. That's for everyone.
Let's debate and then have stroke.
We'll start on this end and work our way. Yes or no?
no.
No.
Yeah, I feel like years ago maybe I would have given a different answer, but kind of today things seem pretty black and white, no pun intended, so no.
Yes. Yes.
In 2000, this is 20? Like 2008, 2012, possibly yes. 2020, no.
I agree with Joe.
All right, now, your partner tells you that they had sex with someone of the same sex. Would you end the relationship?
No.
Hey,
I'll let y'all know.
but see, I need more context before or after. Like
Right, it's like when?
Like before or after during.
But prior to the relationship with you. And so, before.
Oh, I said we could just do it together.
I can't compete with too many people, so the answer's gonna be a no for me. Kids, a lot of our competition stiff. Go with your gut, sis.
No, I feel like honestly, I feel like the connotation behind this is that, you know, you wouldn't know if they're cheating on you with anybody then, but it's like, if they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. Well, no, just saying, but you know how sometimes it's like, if my man is attracted to men too, then he could be cheating. But if he's a cheater, he's gonna cheat. It's not because he has whatever attraction. So I feel like trust is trust, and you know, commitment and loyalty is loyalty. But so what's happened in the past should not matter.
Yeah.
That's very mature.
Like that.
I love that answer.
She says that's very mature.
It depends on your values, I guess. You know, I don't think there's a hard line for this answer. I think it's like we talked about, it's your culture, your views, is your values. So it may work for you because you might be in an exploratory phase of your life. It may not work. I don't think need more information to answer that.
Right.
I can agree with that a little bit.
Most of these are only like one sentence because I think because of how small the block was, they insinuated that it would just like that it could only write a little bit. So the next one is you and your boo are watching Netflix, Hulu, Disney series together. You're home from work and decide to watch a few episodes more. Do you watch them again, or do you admit that you watch without them? This is for everyone. We're gonna start over here.
I can't laugh because she's here. Okay, yes, I tell her I've seen them. I watch them all. Then I watch them again. Sometimes I don't get to watch them. Sometimes I just watch them by myself. It's fair. I set a bad example. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I tell them I watched it and we just watch it again. Yeah.
Lie. I don't even say I watched it, act like it's new. We can rewind the episode back so that when we hit play, it starts on the episode we left off for.
I've done that once.
Nah, I'm watching it. I'm not lying. I might sit back down and watch it with you. I don't know. Maybe I'll make you a burger to make it feel better, but
I'm watching it and then I'll watch it with you again.
I'm waiting for my boo.
Aw, and that's why you in a relationship, girl. Yes. I'm single, so I'm not about that. I'm single, so
I've been watching it online.
I almost broke up a marriage though. Can I talk about that real quick? No, because I'm using somebody else's password for Comcast, and I watched something, and the couple got into a whole argument, and then finally the husband said, "Hold on one second," and he called me on speakerphone. He said, "Babe, it was like Love and Hip Hop, something crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, I watched it yesterday." He was like, "I told you, I ain't nobody do that." And I was like, "Damn, my bad, I didn't even know." Because I didn't know he set up on the DVR on the TV. I watched it on the internet. I watched it on the
I
app.
have a separate thing.
No, I was at home and I logged in on the computer with their Comcast, but it showed as watched on their DVR on the TV. So she sat down and got comfy and it was at the end and just spazzed. And then he remembered I had the password and called me on speakerphone, like, so that I didn't, I was like, yo, my bad, homie. So then from then on, I just rewinded back, or I was gonna text to both of them and say,
No, I don't think there's nothing you should have.
No, but it's asking what have you done on the first date that you shouldn't have.
I should not.
Yeah, so they're asking the panel, what have you done that you should never do? Sex.
I think my answer is like I wasn't really present after the date. Like I was there, but like my mind was somewhere else. So like probably just think of somebody else.
Very good. All right, so should a partner be able to put restrictions on how he or she can wear her hair or his hair?
On their partner.
Should they put restrictions on how their partner should wear their hair?
Oh no, I think they are who they are, and you knew them before you started dating. If they did this before you were dating, this is who they are. So you can't tell them they can't do something. Now they're dating.
But it happens though, you think about it. A woman might try to do a big chop, and the guy's like, "I love you for your hair," and so then
she can buy wigs.
She could, but
then that person also doesn't like wigs. So that person also doesn't like wigs. That's the same person. The person who doesn't want you to chop your hair also does not like wigs.
Right, but it's right.
Yes, but there should be maybe not restrictions, but can we have a
talk about this?
Because if you approach me like this and then you say, "Oh, I think I might shave my beard," we gonna have to have a discussion about that. Because that's not the beard is mine. Like if and that's what I want you to keep.
I mean, I'll take it into consideration. But
No, you ain't no consideration. Like, come in their house and I'll do it if you want to.
All right, this question is for everyone. Well, what do you do when you're expecting King Kong but get Curious George?
I'm assuming we're talking about penis?
Pack your stuff and leave.
I'm assuming as well.
Pack your stuff and leave.
Pack your stuff and leave.
Yeah. That's why you always ask for pictures up front.
Whoa. But pictures don't help you because he could be King Kong and still be trash. What are you talking about right now?
Well, that's a totally different question.
That is a different question. All it stipulates is what do you do when you're expecting one thing and you get another?
It's
what do
you
you
can't
do?
say bias. If you're already there, legs up, you gonna say bias?
Stop now.
Stop now.
No means because no means no matter what.
I got it wrong. Damn, so I've been suffering for no reason? No, gotta go. Okay. Damn, I wasted so much.
This is for everyone.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
How do you communicate your wants, kinks, desires with sex to a new partner, even if you have already had sex with them? So how do you communicate your wants, your kinks, your desires with sex to a new partner, even if you have already had sex with them?
That thing that you do, or that harder. That other thing that you're not doing, I'm gonna need us to try.
Have you ever seen this?
Yeah. Let's try this. Yeah, tonight.
Do people not communicate with their partners? Like, I just want to know, do people not communicate?
But that goes back to the fear of rejection, though, because if you're doing something then you automatically assume I hate sex with you because I don't like when you flip upside down and pump 3 times.
That's all I get. But that's three. I feel like you talk to people. Even during sex, you should be talking to your partner about what you like. Well, you know,
But you gotta think about
look like this or something, or move their head, do they want something? Like, you let them know. Like, oh yeah, like you moan a little louder when they do like this, so they know, like this is what you should be doing. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah. And then you can also talk about it too later, like. You can sit your partner horny, be like, hey,
That's
stuff like that.
So what I'm hearing is communicate.
Yeah, just tell them what you like.
Effective communication solves a lot of issues.
But it's not necessarily communication because a lot of people say that and we miss what that means. So when we think about it, a lot of the people are teaching themselves sex as they go. So they're learning about their sexuality. They're learning about a lot of things. So is it okay to say this? I don't want to look weak. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. I want to come across like I want to be smooth. I want to know what I'm doing. So when you think about that, this panel, even in itself, we're saying, hey, you got options. And here's the buffet of options, right? So when you say, hey, look, people aren't talking. Yeah, a lot of people ain't talking. A lot of people are Puritans. Sexually, hey, look, we're gonna sleep in separate beds and things of nature. And some people like sex is on Fridays. Baby, you're coming too early. I haven't got my pink underwear on. So people have a lot of different rules because that's what they think.
Well, it's because I think that goes back to like a bigger overall issue about why people act the way they act about sex. But I do all think it comes down to communication, effective communication. If I tell you I like something, you should just do that because this is what I like. And we should be vulnerable enough. We're already having sex.
Right.
We should be vulnerable enough with each other to say, hey, I didn't like when you did this, or I don't like how you do this. Next time you should try to do like this or something. Like it's not you to do.
But it sounds like it's a combination of communication and the culture you create.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
So I hear what all of you are saying, but I think what the question is asking is, hey, how do I do this? So they're asking you for an example of how to do it, not just to tell them to communicate.
Yeah.
Here's how
Just send a link. Just send a link or a diagram.
Okay, see, that's a suggestion. So give suggestions.
So my suggestion would be you go to Priscilla's, you go to the sex stop, and let's have a game night, a adult game night, or let's go get a romance novel and act out everything. Come on, get your we did that with the segue nicely.
Here's a good example. Role playing can actually get you into a lot of things because again, it's not actually me. I'm playing this role.
That's
great.
great.
So that way it is me.
Those are good suggestions. All right. People seem more concerned today with maintaining the happy appearance of a relationship than the actual relationship. Why do you think this is the case?
Social media.
I've had women that have like, my cousins are married, we have a cousin club, and they're all married, so I need to be like my cousins. They have this weird relationship dynamic where they're trying to keep up with the Joneses in their family. And so even though the relationship is falling apart, this is me talking to women out there. Her whole identity was based off, I am validated because I am married. And that's her whole depth of self. So I think it's not social media. Social media has just exasperated that, right? But it's not, it's part of certain people's culture. I need to be married because I am now a woman. Disney told me I'm a princess, and now love shall overcome all. And
I don't know that it's exactly, was the question about being married or was it about the appearance of being happy?
The appearance of being happy.
Yeah, so I think and I agree that there is some connection based on how you're raised and your family that like, this is what happiness should, these things have to exist for you to be happy. But then, you get married and then social media is the problem where everyone has to look like their best all the time and they have to like every single, and then you go hang out with these people and they've got like kids that have like sticky faces and like the whole house is a mess. Or I don't think they really like each other. I'm like, I don't know why I visited. Like social media is just not to say I love sticky kids.
To be clear, like I do like it.
You introduced your relationship on social media, and now you have to keep up that initial, introduction to everybody.
Yeah. As a virgin, should I bring up that on the first date? When would you want to know that information? So when would you personally want to know that the person you're on a date with is a virgin? This is for everybody.
A what?
A virgin.
You remember about 32 years ago? You remember, Joe? You remember?
I think I would say if we're, heading down that direction. If it's likely that we're probably going to have sex, you might want to share.
Yeah, that's probably something that I'd like to know immediately. Because I'm not particularly fond of virgins. I need to know what you're doing when we have I need to know what you're doing when we have this. So I can't,
Just like whenever sex comes up, just bring it up there.
Yeah, whenever it comes up.
Why do you ghost?
Because Tariq sounds like
Tariq cut you the security.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not joking. She's not joking.
Debbie said she was joking with the serious look in her eyes.
Are we ghosting people? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are we ghosting people that we just met, or are we ghosting people that?
It's no.
Unfortunately, it just said, why do you ghost?
I think it's because you're not listening. Like I tried to tell you, and instead you ignored me, and so now I got to block you.
And sometimes you just wake up and don't want to deal with somebody no more. So you just say, I'm just not gonna do it. And like you don't owe them a response about why you're not talking to them or anything. Yeah. I would say that if it's somebody you just met. I want something to do with that, okay? Like if it's somebody that you've been dating and talking to or seeing for a while, you do it. I think you do owe them an explanation of why you're doing it. So I'll say that.
I'm in my early 30s. Does the fact that I've never been in a same-sex relationship before make it harder for my first to take me seriously? So, I'm a director.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah?
So,
Why?
Because you don't like your kids.
in their early 30s, does the fact that they've never been in a same-sex relationship before make it harder for the first person they're in the same-sex relationship to take them seriously?
I don't know that I would say that it would be a matter of taking them seriously. I think you have to be pretty confident in yourself as the more experienced person to not feel insecure that you're that person's first, or that they might change their mind or go back to what they were before. But no, I think it's totally reasonable.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of LGBTQ people don't have the luxury of dating early for whatever reasons, for it, whether it be not coming out or don't want to be shown by their family. So like, I feel like LGBTQ people start dating a lot later in life than heterosexual people. So I don't think it would be an issue because more than likely their partner probably started dating late too. So I think they would get it. They would probably understand a little more about that.
Yeah.
Of course, at the game winner against Cleveland on Monday night.
This is for everyone. Why is dating so hard in 2020 despite the pandemic? Because it sucked before.
Why is dating so hard in 2020?
OnlyFans.
Well, your attitude about it is not great.
To be clear, there is a whole other there's a whole other part of OnlyFans that isn't just
OnlyFans
sex
is
based.
about sex work.
Single-handedly ruined dating.
Although I do like the sex work part of OnlyFans.
OnlyFans and verified badges.
I think dating sucks because I think people have too many expectations with dating. Instead of just dating and enjoying themselves, they're dating to say, oh, I need to find a man, I need to find a woman, I need to be married by 28 or 30, so I need to do this. Instead of just going out having fun and meeting people, getting some drinks, kicking it there. When you stop looking for things, things find you.
I suck at dating because I always break rule number 5. Like I get the feels so fast, so I can't. I'm a terrible dater. So dating would always be
If
done.
we build off of what you just said, people are dating with the wrong intentions. If we build on top of that, the idea that there's some types of people that are checklist relationships, that is, they're trying to solve misery. I'm miserable, and I think dating would solve that. Or I think I want to be married, so I think you're
Because my partner's gonna feel like
They're trying to solve the problem.
It's like no,
They're not dating. They're taking purpose-driven dating to the whole other level of extremists. Where I need to have, and if you don't work out, I get emotionally crushed. Now, if you don't work out, I get emotionally crushed. And they're like, everyone doesn't work at this, and they're trying to solve a problem through relationships rather than going to therapy, like you said earlier, trying to solve that problem with a therapist, and then going out with someone else and say, okay, look, now that I'm whole and I know who I am and what I'm looking for, now let's just have fun and let everybody know I'm just having fun.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to, it's like be friends, right? Instead of, because if you think about the connotation of dating someone, that means that, are we exclusive yet? You gotta have that conversation eventually. Is it just me? Or I feel special with you. Are you ready to date? And I'm like, and you're with the wrong person. I'm just having fun. And it crushes you. So I think it's all about having that internal conversation, that communication with self, before you have that external conversation. And then mess up. But just building off what you said, I think that's really good.
Now, also with dating in 2020, people should be taking advantage of the opportunities of 2020 because it's not like every club is open. You meeting somebody at the club and y'all going home. you can do a Zoom date, you can get to know somebody, like, you can actually take the time to really get to know somebody instead of just, you know, having to just slip up and fall into a sexual relationship.
So do you feel you have options though? Like, do you feel the options
There
are?
are more options, like, and everybody's at home, everybody's on social media, like, jump in somebody's
You better send
inbox
somebody a
and,
message when,
you know, like,
when verses on.
exactly,
Them on that, like,
At what point do you ask for STI results?
before you start having sex with somebody. I feel like that's a conversation you have with people. You know, just to say this is the kind of work I do for a living. So I always talk to people about, like, talk to your partners about this because it's very important. Your sexual health is very important. So get tested, and if you are with a partner who gives you some pushback and say they don't want to get sex with, it's probably somebody you don't want to be having sex with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it okay to date multiple people? If so, do you have to tell all parties you're dating multiple people?
Yes.
you should tell the parties that.
Yeah, especially if they ask. If they know that we are not in a relationship, then they shouldn't, it's not necessarily, you know, I don't tell them like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Danielle today. Like, it's just who I spend my time with is my business. If you ask me, and I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm honest with you. If you ask. Yes.
Yeah, you should be open to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should tell people that you're dating multiple.
I would say that it's probably necessary if you're having sex. Yes, and if not, then yes, if someone asks.
And also, it's just dating. You're supposed to date multiple
You're
people.
supposed to.
Like, yeah,
That's
like,
what dating
you're supposed to date
is.
other people.
Yeah.
That's what Zola says. How long do you date before you decide you're in a relationship?
When you have sex.
That's no, come on.
Yes, I've been in several.
All sorts of relationships.
Entanglement. It depends on the individual chemistry and you know what you're feeling for that person. I think a lot of times, like I don't know if you had said this, but people just want to be with somebody or just have somebody, but it's do we really match?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's subjective. It's just whatever it is.
Is cheating before your wedding date a sign that you shouldn't get married?
Probably.
Yeah. Especially if you ask.
So raise your hand if you feel like that is a sign you shouldn't get married if you cheat, like you're engaged and you cheat.
You're engaged, they have a wedding date, and you cheat. Yeah, we probably should. We have other issues.
You're breaking the loyalty and trust of your relationship. Yeah.
What do you do if your partner won't communicate with you?
Send them to therapy.
I think sometimes you have to, people communicate in different ways too. I've been with somebody where we've been talking and had a discussion, and he said, you know what, I feel like we're not communicating effectively right now, let's take a break and let's maybe write it down. Like, just sometimes you have to communicate in different ways.
I'm all about leaving. If you're not communicating with me, I'm leaving. That,
Just like that?
Like, yeah, because I feel like some things are. As an example, I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta last week, and the lady's husband went away for 3 days and did not tell her where he was at.
Okay, now.
Oh, now like that's absurd. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not putting up with
But is
that.
that communication or is that respect?
Both.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like communication is his carrying storage. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, you're not communicating about it.
No, yeah, because
I like it.
there's no reason for us to like. Because why aren't you communicating with me? Like,
Right.
And I feel like my partner and I are all about encouragement. How can you tell the difference between being supportive and being pushy?
So pushy is so supportive is like I know your capabilities. I have a good idea of your authentic self. I have a good idea of your internal state, and I'm just going to support you. And I won't let you fall back. But being pushy is like trying to be somebody's parent. I know better than you know yourself, and then I'm trying to push you beyond your limits. And I think I know you better, so go do that CrossFit championship. Oh no, I broke my arm. I don't care. Get out and do the cross. That's pushy. Like it's not respecting the person's boundaries for self, and you're trying to exceed it like you're their parent, and it's a really uncomfortable feeling. I think like somebody's trying to be your parent in a relationship.
Is it a bad thing though if somebody's pushy, like, in a way because they know you have like a lot more potential than what you're showing?
But that's supportive thing. See, it's only going, it's exceeding.
So it's a thin line. Is it a thin line?
I think it is definitely
Okay,
a thin line. Because sometimes people might not be ready, so the support might just be planting a seed or asking them how they need to be supported at the time. Right.
Not right now.
Not right now.
So, Willis, the final question before we have to go is one that went to Zola. Dear Zola, I am completely in love with my girlfriend. We've been together for about a year, and I know I want this woman to be with me for the rest of my life. There is no doubt in my mind that she is the one for me. I plan to propose to her on Halloween. I already have the ring and everything. Again, I love my girlfriend. But for the last week, I've been fantasizing about my work life. She was having a bad day, and I got her coffee just to be nice. At the end of the day, she told me it meant a lot to her and hugged me. The next morning, she brought me coffee to return the favor. When she hugged me, that time she kissed my cheek. That was new and out of the ordinary, but still I didn't think anything of it. But later, when we were packed in the elevator to leave for the day, she backed into me. It felt like she was grinding on me, but I couldn't tell because the elevator was full and moving. I had my back against the wall, and she had her back against me, and my dick got hard. I apologized, not really being specific, because there were so many people around. She turned around a little and said it was okay. The problem is that when she turned around, her hand brushed against me. The elevator doors opened and she ran out with everyone else. I thought about it all Labor Day weekend. On Monday, I said something to her about it, and she apologized and said that she didn't realize she had touched me. It seemed like a misunderstanding, but every time she comes around, she flirts with me and touches me. Much more than she ever did before, and my dick is hard the whole time I'm talking to her. I'm thinking about her nonstop. Should I tell my girlfriend?
At this point, you gotta switch jobs. You gotta put your 2 weeks in.
You have to read the book to find out.
You gotta put your 2 weeks in. Like, that's it.
Listen, if you're having these feelings, like maybe his woman isn't the one for him, but it's not the woman at the job either. That's not the woman he wants.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's not the woman. No. Got these feelings, but I feel like somebody attractive, and like,
he's setting himself up for failure, because the thing is, before cheating occurs, there are a number of stages, and he's letting every one of those check, like every single one. He's letting his dick get hard multiple times from this woman that's not his girlfriend. So what is his real intention? Does he want to be with both women? Does he want to lie to his girlfriend and be with this one? Does he want to one time try it out? What is his intention? But either way, you ain't proposing to your girlfriend. That's ridiculous.
Because he definitely should have nipped it in the bud. When she kissed him on the cheek the first time, it was like it never happened. It's like, yeah, like, wait a minute, like, just so like, that's definitely like, so I agree, like, he's definitely like laying the groundwork for it to happen.
He's allowing it.
So he's writing for permission. That's what he's doing. So if you wrote that whole story, you just thought about A, B, C, you did all the calculations. Now you just need permission.
Yeah, he's
already visualized. He's on it. And like you said earlier, Joe, it's not the point that he wants her or anyone else. I think he wants an aggressive woman. His wife, his girlfriend, is an aggressive. So he's really fantasizing about push up on me. He's a farmer, like you said at the beginning.
I like flirtation, like ta-da.
You can take that energy from the
new job.
New job.
Oh, that's it.
So because they're gonna be fucking all the time.
In the elevator.
They already fucked. He was lying in the letter. He fucked up.
Well, we have to wrap up early. So to end, is there anything that, any dating advice, dating or relationship advice you would want to give the people that you have ascertained in your travels in the world?
you should measure for reciprocity at least once.
Speak up.
So one of the things that I've come across is that most people feel invisible, as we talked about earlier, because they don't know that they're not getting reciprocity. They've been going through putting fires out into the relationship. They've been holding their integrity in, things like that. So I would say to always evaluate the reciprocity. A lot of times people are in the same situation, like what we watch in the movie, right? And you might focus on, she had plaid shoes on, and I'm focusing on, that was a beautiful movie. We're in the same experience, but having two different takeaways. And sometimes people are in a relationship experiencing completely different takeaways. So what's most important is to figure out how to communicate. Are you seeing what I see? Are you valuing what I'm valuing? And evaluate that relationship every 30 days or something like that. Have a relationship conference, a relationship check-in. Are we experiencing the same thing? Was this last 30 days also for you, or did you think I needed to improve it? I think reciprocity is understated in relationships.
Yeah, agreed. Being open and honest about what you need, what you want, and also assessing yourself, checking yourself. Sometimes maybe you're the one who is being toxic or unhealthy in a relationship, and you can't see past that. So deciding if that's even really what you want, really understanding what you need.
Be open, deal with your stuff. Don't bring stuff from the past to the new. And be flexible.
You'll always know when they want to. You don't have to beg, cry, none of that stuff. You'll know. Like they'll show you 1,000% whenever they're serious about taking you serious.
Cash your net a little wider. Maybe you can't find someone where you look at, travel a little further.
Be open with yourself on what you like and what you don't like.
2 minutes to go.
Be open to just having fun and enjoying it. Like don't have too many expectations when it comes to this. Just think have fun.
Don't be afraid to fall in love. It's a cool.
Step 5. All right, give yourself a hand. All right, so